Good morning. It is still morning. I'm Barbara Snyder, president of Case Western Reserve University, and I am delighted to welcome you to this special event to rededicate the Freedman Center for Digital Scholarship, one of the true gems of the Kelvin Smith Library and indeed one of the gems of Case Western Reserve University. I want to begin by recognizing some of our special guests who are here with us. We are so happy to have members of the Freedman family to celebrate with us, members of our Board of Trustees, and members of the Kelvin Smith Library Advisory Board. You all do so much for Case Western Reserve, and your presence today makes our celebration even more meaningful. Thanks to the generosity of the Freedman family, beginning with Sam and Marion Freedman, two of our very wonderful graduates who met at Case Western Reserve University, or what was Western Reserve, and now through their sons, Walter and Howard, our faculty, our staff, our students have had access to state-of-the-art equipment to advance their digital scholarship. During the last 11 years, the Freedman Center for Digital Scholarship has provided access to technology, including multimedia and digitization hardware and software, and perhaps most importantly, it provides help in how to use that technology in your work, which is very important. The Freedman Fellows are a group of faculty members who get these awards annually to advance their research through the use of digital tools, and the Freedman Center supports the Freedman Fellows among its more important responsibilities here on our campus. The Freedman Center's success led to a complete redesign, which you see today. It encompasses a vision that is looking to the future for how knowledge generation will happen in conjunction with technology, and it keeps pace with the evolution of libraries, which have really changed over time. It's no longer just a place to get a book. It's so much more than that. This is a dynamic space for collaborative learning and research, and we are proud to show it off to you. Where we are standing in our library, our students have access to this 24 hours a day, and our faculty, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it is always here whenever you want to do work. You will find in here access to digitization and reproduction of every type of information. There's a one-touch video studio where students can activate a camera and light to practice a presentation, which is then captured and downloaded to a flash drive so they can take it with them. It's pretty wonderful. It includes research poster design. For those of you who will be joining us at the research showcase soon, you will know how important the Freedman Center is in helping to produce the beautiful posters that show off the hard work of our students, both undergraduate and graduate students. It also provides consulting on statistics and the use of geospatial information technology, mapping technology, a huge variety of other things. Inside the glass is a dynamic facility for collaborative design and learning. The large monitor that you can see is a perceptive pixel, a touchscreen interactive monitor. Soon this space will also feature 4 Microsoft Surface Hubs that will enable groups both in person and remotely, collaborating virtually, to work together on projects including simulations and multi-touch screens. We are so excited about that. This evolving vision of the Freedman Center recognizes that the library is a place where you not only discover information, but also manage it and use it to generate new knowledge. At Case Western Reserve University, we are very proud that the Kelvin Smith Library continues to change and evolve, and that its staff embrace new technologies, new challenges, new roles. They love being a part of all of this. Initiatives such as the Freedman Center for Digital Scholarship help Case Western Reserve faculty, staff, and students remain at the forefront of using new technology to support their research and scholarship. It is wonderful today to be able to introduce to you Walter Freedman, who is a longtime member of the Kelvin Smith Library Visiting Committee, who has given tremendous thought to the evolution of libraries. He is a dedicated supporter of our library, and Walter, I just want to say that we are truly grateful for your commitment to and your engagement with the Kelvin Smith Library, the Freedman Center, and Case Western Reserve University. Please.
Thank you, Barbara. You know, I heard the name Freedman so many times, I wonder what's going on here. I did want to observe Barbara was apologizing for the weather. And I think, from my point of view, it's a very sunny day at the Kelvin Smith Library. We welcome all the honored guests, family, friends. It's amazing. And I should add, my colleagues on the advisory board of the library, which is with Arnold Hirshon's leadership, has been, I think, very impactful in a lot of the things that have gone on here. I want to go back. Some of you, quite a few of you, were here on September 9th, 2005, when the original Freedman Center was dedicated. It was a very poignant time, and I want to share with you some of the scene from that period. After all of the compliments I've gotten, my ego is so inflated I think I'll be hard to live with. But I do want to say that Marion and I are so pleased with the way this center turned out. We had not seen it, and we had no idea really, except what we could see on the computer. But the reality is wonderful. I want to say that returning to the campus brings back many pleasant memories. And I'd like to share one with you. In 1933, I enrolled at Adelbert College as a freshman in the class of 37. That's a long time ago. And shortly afterwards, there was a freshman mixer. So I went to the freshman mixer, and there I met a very pretty girl who told me her name was Marion Kirchner, and she was just up from a small town of Sumter in South Carolina, and had also enrolled as a freshman in the class of 37 at Florida Stone Mather College. So I had a new friend. 4 years later, we both graduated. That was in 1937. And a couple of months later, in October, we were married. Next October 10th, we will have been married 86 years. "68 years. Excuse me. Pretty soon I'll be 80. I know it seems long. Suddenly I found myself with a wife, a partner, and a best friend. And we've had a good marriage. I want to talk about a subject that normally I would not discuss, but I will because we're surrounded by family and friends, and that is our family wealth. And as some of you know, we have 2 sons, and we have 6 grandchildren, and we have 17 great-grandchildren, 11 beautiful girls and 6 handsome boys. If that isn't wealth for a family, I don't know what is, and we're very fortunate. That's my dad, our dad. I've always been so happy that he had that opportunity. As you can see, he was somewhat frail, but totally clear of mind. And 7 months later, actually 10 years to this date, to this month, he passed away. So he had this opportunity to see and visualize and experience
center, and now we're back here because in the world of technology, 10 years is an eternity. And it's time to update it, but it's being done on the basis of value that it's meant to this school, to their school, and to the students and faculty that are here. Just a little update on the family situation. In the 10 years, there are now 20 great-grandchildren. And I think, I have to figure this out for a minute. I think there are 13 young ladies or girls and 7 boys. 3 of mother and dad's grandchildren are here. Amy Jerkowitz, a mother of 5. Michael Freedman, who was here in '05, father of 5. And what?
Different children.
Oh yeah, your brother and sister. I mean, I think that's obvious. And Douglas Freedman, father of 3. And so I'm very happy. And Debbie, my other daughter, is unable to make it. But it's great to have everybody here. This was really a magical moment 10 years ago, 10 and a half years ago. My mother, just to give you a little progress report, is happily ensconced in Naples, Florida, refuses to travel, and I guess because in October, not only will she have an anniversary, I don't know what number, it won't be 86, but she will be on October 11th, 101. And she's still making things. Karen, my wife, is wearing a pin that my mother made a week ago. So the love story of these 2 Western Reserve University grads, I mean, I cried watching this. And at the class of 37 would have been sufficient, but Dad, my father, was a pioneer in the micro-publishing business. He worked with libraries, he worked with librarians, he compiled tomes of data and put them in an organized fashion, and the source were libraries and the sales were to libraries. And so my father loved librarians. He would have loved Arnold. Even Arnold. Now we rededicate this updated and expanded facility, and we just as my dad, we're thrilled. It's really going to be how it's used by the students and faculty, but it looks very promising. But this whole vision of philanthropy, and whoever the development officer was that really sold Dad and Mother, did a very good job, because it really is converging with this digital revolution. We don't see a lot of books down here. You see a lot of collaboration stations. You'll see a lot of places for people to work. Barbara referred to a lot of the capabilities here. And it's our hope that really takes this center to a new level and helps to make Case Western Reserve an even richer place for its students and its faculty and its alumni. So we're going from being a production center, doing multimedia work, to a whole collaborative, interactive center. No, Google search is not sufficient, and I'll let Hirshon later on explain why that is. Speaking of Arnold, none of this would have been possible without his leadership and his staff's leadership, Roger Zender, Gina Midlick, all the fantastic people here at the library. So I just want to say thank you very much. We're very proud.
Thank you, Walter. That was great. And speaking of alumni, you want to make this center great for people who graduated from Case Western Reserve. It is wonderful to be able to introduce the other Freedman son, Howard Freedman, who is a graduate of the Case Western Reserve University School of Law, class of 1970. We're not counting. We are always delighted to see Howard. He comes to many of the events on our campus and is a great friend of the university. Howard, please come up also and say a few words. Thank you.
Thank all of you for being here. It's just wonderful to see many of you that I don't see often enough, and I really appreciate it. And Barbara, thank you for being an amazing leader of Case Western Reserve. It's just sensational what you've done for this university. Daniel Gilbert, a professor of psychology at Harvard, wrote a book that was published in 2006 called Stumbling on Happiness, and it was about, among other things, how people are so deficient in predicting what will make them happy. One of the things that regularly makes people happy is charitable giving. And in this case, my dad, our dad, I should say, was a perfect match for this charitable gift. And he was able to re-enter the library world, which had been his world, as Walter mentioned. He was able to help his alma mater, which was very important to him. He was able to be hands-on on this philanthropy because Joanne Eustace, Arnold's predecessor, welcomed him into the process of formulating the Media Center. So here he had an opportunity late in life to apply both his resources and his expertise. It was just perfect for him, and I'm sure made him extremely happy in the manner that Daniel Gilbert anticipated. The Freedman Center functions as a technology commons for the university. The extent to which it's expanded reflects the expansion of technology. And it's interesting, I was just speaking with Arnold about how much of library science is not computer science. It's probably a very small and diminishing increment. Kelvin Smith Library is exactly the right venue for this technology center, and we're thrilled that it's here. I'm proud to have been a party with Walter in advancing the Freedman Center since my father passed away. And most of all, I'm proud and extremely grateful that the university has allowed the center to bear the names of our parents. So thank you very much.
It is, of course, one thing to make a gift like the Freedmans did initially. It is another thing to really nurture the thing you've given to and really feel like it's an investment. And that is how you have treated the Freedman Center. You have watched it from your vantage point, and I know, Walter, you've been on the library visiting committee so long, so they really have nurtured the Freedman Center and helped bring it to this new place. We are very fortunate that the Kelvin Smith Library, and indeed the Freedman Center, has champions on our board of trustees, and we have a great leader here with us today representing our board to speak about that. We are so fortunate to have Ellen Mavec. She is president of the Kelvin and Eleanor Smith Foundation. She is a longtime champion of the library, a great leader in university circle overall, and you can see her imprint all over our campus, starting right next door to this building, but extending throughout the campus. I can't even go into all the things she's done for us. Anyway, it is a great privilege to be able to introduce Ellen Mavec to speak on behalf of our board. Ellen.
Thank you. I am so honored to be here today to talk to you, and I'm really honored more that the Freedman and the Smith families have gotten to know each other, which is very, very, very special. So I just want to thank you for letting me speak on behalf of the Kelvin and Eleanor Smith Foundation, as well as my family. I remember so well attending the Case Western Reserve University architectural design meetings with Hartman and Cox, who were the architects for the Case Western Reserve University's Library of the Future. At the time, Ag Pitta wanted to build the most technologically wired library in the world. Of course, we had no idea what he was talking about, but we thought it sounded rather interesting. And he also wanted a flexible space on the inside, but whose classical exterior complemented our traditional neighbors, adjacent neighbors, especially the Art Museum, Severance Hall. And it was the first time in my life that I actually watched a trustee committee work with national architects to create a well-conceived and novel design concept. I learned from the pros, including my Aunt Lucia Nash and Charlie Bolton, how to incorporate the architect's ideas with, most importantly, the personality of the university, and I think they did a phenomenal job. The Kelvin and Eleanor Smith Foundation agreed to Ag Pitta's request to be the lead donor to the library in 1990 because my grandfather, who unfortunately was not alive, or who was not well enough to be here, would have loved the technology focus of the library and the very flexible, light-filled interior of this classically designed building. He was an innovative and futuristic thinker, but I sincerely doubt he ever could have comprehended how technology would transform the world, and especially education and libraries. It is hard to believe that the library will celebrate its 20th anniversary this year, and it still looks brand new. It's unbelievable how fabulous it looks. The original vision of excellence in technology and flexibility continues to be realized, especially in the Freedman Center for Digital Scholarship. This center stands literally at the front and center of this magnificent building, a perfect example of the concept of the library of the future. It is not static, but requires continuous renewal and growth. And thank you to Mr. Hirshon. We've been seeing lots of that in the library. This new center, the Freedman Center, revitalizes the Kelvin Smith Library and reflects the commitment of the university to always be the cutting edge of library services. So I want to personally thank the Freedman family for their generous contribution to the Kelvin Smith Library. I know that my grandparents, Kelvin and Eleanor Smith, would be so proud that the library continues to change and thrive and remain an important center of learning and research for Case Western Reserve University because of friends, dedicated friends like you. Thank you.
Well, the library, as you've heard, would not be what it is were it not for the leader of Case Western Reserve's University Library, and that is Arnold Hirshon. Arnold has created a vision for a library that is changing. You can see evidence of it all over. Physically, the library has changed. The way that they serve the people who come through the door has changed over the time that he's been here too. And we are very proud of the kind of culture that he's created here at the heart of Case Western Reserve University. It is my pleasure to introduce the director of Case Western Reserve University's library and Associate Provost Arnold Hirshon.
Thank you very much, Barbara, and Walter and Howard, both of you, and friends, all the friends and the family of the Freedmans. This is a great day for Kelvin Smith Library. In 2005, the first Freedman Center opened up as a collaborative effort with the College of Arts and Sciences and the Kelvin Smith Library. That close relationship remains to this day. In 2011, I arrived in 2010, and in 2011, we set out a new mission and vision for this library to be the knowledge and creativity commons of the university and to be a vibrant campus destination that would be an information laboratory for knowledge collection, connection, creation, and curation. From the very first conversations that I had with the Freedman family about this new vision and mission, they embraced these new directions and asked what they could do to help in our efforts. Today we celebrate their generosity and the new gift that they made that made possible not only this complete reimagining and redesign of the space, but also a new endowment that will continue the work of the center into the future. When the library opened 20 years ago, as was mentioned, it was the library of the future. As Yogi Berra might have said, the future doesn't last as long as it used to, and so we are continuously having to change the place. As Lois Carroll might have said, we can't have jam yesterday, jam tomorrow, but never have jam today. So the future brings us these new challenges every day, and we're constantly redefining ourselves with advances in services, in facilities, and in access and use of content. Research and learning in our university community requires that libraries assist not just in advanced technologies, but rather how they use those technologies to harness the power of this and generate new knowledge. Only through the process of constant revitalization can we enable new generations of scholars to think beyond the possible and to generate their breakthrough ideas. What we celebrate today is a remarkable and vital transformation that honors the accomplishments of the first center that were made possible through the generosity of Sam and Marion. And today we extend the reach of the center and engage students and faculty in bold new ways. This center has become a knowledge box that spurs intellectual and creative production, a shared space for the campus that I call a digital Switzerland. This is the place where everybody from the university, faculty from every discipline, students from every discipline, and people from the Cleveland community can come together to work and engage in research. What a difference the center has made and can be making in the future is remarkable. For example, through the Freedman Fellows Program, the center helped musicology professor Stephen Heflin create a dynamic, comprehensive database regarding the works of Gustav Mahler. It helped Professor Melvin Goldstein convert a large corpus of oral histories about Tibet and convert them into text so that it would be readable. It helped Professor Cynthia Bell create a unified database of years of data that she had collected regarding adaptation of indigenous peoples to low levels of oxygen at high altitudes. It helped Professor Justin Gallagher apply GIS to explore how the receipt of federal public assistance following a devastating natural disaster affected the finances and the migration of individuals. And the Freedman Center has served and will now be able to serve even better our students with a range of services such as was mentioned, designing their research showcase posters, tracing variant editions of texts of literature, comparing different works of art, creating GIS maps, converting images or videos to digital form, and using that one-touch studio to rehearse a presentation or study dance moves for a class, or to create a 3D scan over here in our virtual reality center. The Freedman Center does not do this work standing alone. Rather, we seek to create new opportunities in partnership with other service providers at the university. We're facilitating the development of what we're initially calling a new Digital Scholarship Integrative Support Collaborative, or DISC, to better our campus services and provide them throughout the research life cycle. This partnership includes the College of Arts and Sciences, the Case School of Engineering, the Weatherhead School of Management, University Information Technology Services, thank you, Sue, ThinkBox, thank you, Malcolm, wherever he is, the Baker Nord Center for the Humanities, thank you, Peter, and the University of Office of Research, and others. These are only a few of the many examples we can cite in which the Freedman Center is making a difference in the work of our faculty and students. For the support that makes this possible, I cannot thank the Freedman family enough. Thank you so much, and thank you as well to those before you. I would also particularly like to thank Walter for his years of dedicated service to our visiting committee and for his always wise counsel to the committee and to me personally. Your continuing support of this center and the family support of the Freedman Fellows Program has been invaluable. The continuing impact of your gifts goes beyond Case Western Reserve University and beyond Cleveland. This center has already captured the attention as being one of the best digital scholarship centers in the country, and people are coming to visit. It's my hope that Sam is now watching over us today with a fresh smile, knowing that we value every day what he started, and that Marion will be pleased when she can see the photos and the videos of this event to know how much we appreciate all that she made possible at the university at which she and Sam first met. Their generosity, that continuation now with a new generation of the Freedman family, is enduring, and we cherish you amongst our very best of friends. Finally, please allow me a moment to acknowledge the many members of the KSL staff who redesigned and oversaw the construction of the new center and helped organize today's event. We talk at the Kelvin Smith Library about having created a culture of experimentation and assessment, and we earned through the assessment and experiment some more. This did not happen overnight. This happened over a 3-year period as we experimented and experimented and assessed and assessed. The entire digital learning and scholarship team under the leadership of Roger Zender, our Associate Director for Creation and Curation Services, Rich Shrake, the team leader for digital learning and scholarship, and their entire team made this possible. Mahmoud Adu, Jared Bendis, Lee Bonds, Ann Holstein, Amanda Kajura, Evan Mazzaros, and Mike Yeager, and they've been probably touring a lot of you around this morning. I always am indebted to one person in particular, my rock, Gina Midlick. Gina was the project manager for this in 2005. Miraculously, she is still here and looking exactly the same way she did in the 2005 video for this 2016 redesign. She is always the unsung miracle worker behind the scenes who not just thinks beyond the possible, but actually makes the impossible possible every day, and she always does that with a panache and good humor that makes her tireless efforts look effortlessly perfect. As I turn the program back to President Snyder for the ribbon cutting, I just want to remind everyone that there will be tours following the presentations in the Freedman Center, and there will be food stations throughout the Freedman Center. I thank you all for coming, and I hope you'll stay to learn more about the services that we're now making possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Arnold. I am so glad you acknowledged your great team, because they did do a tremendous amount of work to make this possible, not just this event, of course, but this whole space and the way the library functions for our students and faculty and staff every single day. I also want to acknowledge that the library, which is part of the academic side of the institution, receives tremendous support from our Chief Academic Officer, our Provost, Bud Bazelak, and from our Deputy Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Lynn Singer. They are both deeply committed to the library, have been, will be, and help make this possible by making sure that Arnold had the support he needed to realize this vision. So we are grateful to all of them. I think in honor of Sam and Marion, we will now cut the ribbon. So I invite Walter and Howard and Arnold and Ellen to come up here and cut the ribbon with me. In honor of Sam and Marion Freedman, here goes.